Okay, good morning to all of you. I welcomes to all in our lecture series on statistical mechanics, that is your core paper 14, belongs to 6th semester BSc syllabus. Today in this class we are going to discuss about classical statistics or Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics and Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. Okay, so before we have to start our discussion, I'm going to show you that what are the things we have been discussed in our last two classes, because those contents is required in the today in this class. So in the last two classes we have been discussed microstates, basic idea about the probability, permutation, combination. These things we have been discussed, and four distinguished particles in two compartments, how it is also we have been discussed. I'm going to show you one expression is required in our today discussion. This one I'm telling to you, this one. So w n1 n2 n3 up to nk, that means macro state of this one. This is the macro state of n1 n2 n3 up to nk. What is the thermodynamic probability? That means W of this one n1 n2 n3 up to nk, or we can say that microstates of this macrostate will be n factorial by n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial up to nk factorial. How this expression came in detail we have been discussed in our last class, maybe previous to previous class. Okay, so here n means total number of particles are going to be arranged in this in a box which is separated by k number of compartments, divided by k number of compartments. So suppose we have to consider a particular arrangement, that compartment 1 have n1, compartment 2 n2, compartment 3 n3 number of particle, compartment of compartment k have the nk number of particle. What will be the thermodynamic probability, or the so called number of microstates of macrostate n1, n2, n3, nk is this one. Okay. Then next, in our just previous class we have been discussed about entropy and relation between entropy and your thermodynamic probability. Here you can see uh, relation between entropy and thermodynamic probability, and we found that they both are directly proportional with each other. Then we have been discussed how the entropy is going to increase whenever then we discuss additive nature of the entropy. Then we have been discussed about uh, for expansion how increase of entropy, for diffusion how entropy increases. That we have been discussed in our last class in detail. I suggest that you just go through the previous and previous video before you have to start this video. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about classical statistics or Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics and Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. So broadly, statistical mechanics classified into two ways. That is your classical statistics, or called as Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. Another is quantum statistics. So here this is the classification tree. You can see that the whole statistical mechanics broadly classified into two, that is your classical statistics or Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. Another one is the quantum statistics. About quantum statistics we are going to discuss in detail in our next unit, but just here I am giving the idea about what is the difference between quantum and classical statistics. So again, quantum statistics is divided into two. Bose-Einstein statistics and Fermi-Dirac statistics. So here, in case of, if we are going to consider the particles is going to be considered in case of classical Bose-Einstein Fermi-Dirac statistics. For classical statistics, particles are identical and distinguishable. That means gas molecules. That means I can say, suppose this is identical, this is identical. Two balls are identical, shape, size is same, but distinguishable. That means this will be your red color. Suppose this is your red color and this is your green color, like that. So here two particles are identical but distinguishable. The two particles size is same, but it can also distinguishable, or we can say the gas molecules is belongs to uh, your classical statistics, or classical statistics is used for gas molecules. Okay. Next, Bose-Einstein statistics. In case Bose-Einstein statistics, particles are identical but indistinguishable. That is your photons. Light particles are belongs to bosons, or whenever we are going to be study about the light particles behavior, then we have to consider Bose-Einstein statistics. Fermi-Dirac statistics, particles are identical but indistinguishable. Both are same. But here, this is belongs the example of the Fermi-Dirac statistics is electron. And basic difference between Fermi and Bose-Einstein statistics is that for Bose-Einstein statistics, the particle spin is integral multiple, but in case of Fermi-Dirac, the spin has to be half integral multiple. And another thing is that the Bose-Einstein statistics, or the particle on which we are going to apply Bose-Einstein statistics, those particles not obey, not, again I repeat, not obey Pauli exclusion principle. But here for Fermi-Dirac, the particle has to obey the Pauli exclusion principle. Okay. So in case of classical statistics, the particles has no spin. So this is the basic idea, or basic idea about classification of uh, Maxwell-Boltzmann, Bose-Einstein, and Fermi-Dirac statistics. In our today class, we are going to be discuss broadly Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics and distribution. We have to find out the distribution function. However, this we are going to be discuss in our next unit. Okay. So now, before we have to discuss the MBD, that means Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, here first it is better to discuss if a compartment divided into large number of cells, then what is the effect on thermodynamic probability of a macrostate? Okay, so previously we have been considered that a box is divided into compartments, C1 compartment, C2, C3 up to CK. But here, if we are going to divide further each compartment with large number of cells, these are the cells, then what will be the changes we are going to be found for a particular macrostate, or thermodynamical probability of a particular macrostate? Okay, that we are going to be discuss here. So here you have to watch that this is the box. Okay, previously we have been studied, I'm going to show you, wait, here the box is divided into k compartments, but here we have been not considered that compartments has been further divided into cells. For this case, we found thermodynamic probability of a particular macrostate is this one. However, if we are going to be consider the each compartment is going to be further divided with large number of cells, then how the thermodynamic probability of a particular macrostate is going to be changed. Okay, So here also total particles are n. Let each compartment is divided into cells. Let for C1 compartment divided into G1 cells, C2 compartment divided into G2 cells. Here G1, G2, G3 are the numbers. You can say C1 compartment is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, suppose 25 G1, 25 cells, and C2 compartment divided into 35 cells. C3 compartment is divided into 50 cells, like that. There is no restriction that how you are going to be further divide each and every compartment. So may not be G1, G2, G3 may not be equal. Okay, they can be different. So here for C1 compartment, G1 number of cells, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the numbers. G1, G2, G3 are the numbers. Okay, number of cells. So for C1, G1 number of cells. For C2, G2 number of cells. C3, G3 number of cells. And for CK, GK number of cells. Okay. Now for C1 compartment, number of particles are N1. For C2, number of particles are N2. C3, N3. For CK, number of particles is going to be distribute R, number of particles are Nk. Okay. So here previously we have been discussed when n number of particles is going to distributed in k compartments, then thermodynamical probability of the macrostate that is equal to the macrostate is of the macrostate n1 n2 n3 nk. This is the macrostate. For this macrostate, this is nothing called the thermodynamical probability or the number of microstates. This will be equal to how much? N factorial by n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial up to nk factorial, whatever we have been discussed in our last class. Only for that I am telling to you that at least you go for the last lecture. Okay, you can easily understand these things. So in that last class I discussed that how this has to be came. Okay, so for macrostate n1 n2 n3 up to nk, the number of microstates or the so-called thermodynamical probability will be this much. Okay, now each compartment are further divided into large number of elementary cells. As your wish you can divide, no problem. In case of one thing I have to say to you, in case of classical statistical mechanics or Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, each compartment can be divided as much as you want. There is no restriction for the division of the cells. So each compartment are further divided into large number of elementary cells of equal size. Let G1, G2, G3 up to Gk are the number NUMBER are the number of cells in C1 compartment, C2 compartment, C3 compartment up to Ck compartment respectively. Now first particle will be arranged in G1 cells. Will be how much wedge? G1 wedge, obviously. You got my point. Now we have to consider a particular compartment. Now here you have to write. Now consider a particular compartment. Let C1. Okay, just you write, then you have to write this one, first particle. So here in C1 compartment, how many numbers of particles are there? N numbers. In the C1, n numbers of particles are there. So n numbers particles, among the n number particle, suppose you have to consider first particle. Okay, first particle will be arranged in G1 cells. In C1, how many numbers of cells are there? G1 numbers of cells. So let among the N1 particles, first particle, suppose N1 particles are 5 particles. A, B, C, D, E. These are the 5 particles, are nothing but called as the N1 number of particles. These are the 5 particles. So first particle A can be arranged in G1 cells. This A can be arranged in G1 cells. G1 cells. How many ways? G1 ways. Got my point? So first particle will be arranged in G1 cells will be equal to G1 ways. Like a second particle will be here will be arranged in G1 cells, also G1 ways, right? Likewise, n1th n1th means, suppose we are going to consider 5 particles, that means fifth particle that I am telling. Okay, this n1 can be anything. This n1 can be any number. That depends upon the total number of particles. So here for example, if we are going to consider n1 is 5 particles, so for fifth particle will be will be arranged in G1 cells, will be also G1 ways. So like in general ways we can say n1th because n1 number of particles are present in this whole compartment. So n1th particle will be arranged in G1 cells equal to G1 wedge. Hence n1 particles will be arranged in G1 cells of C1 compartment will be how much? G1 to the power n1 wedge. Got it? See, here we have taken the example. We have to consider that example. Just wait. So here we consider five particles. 5 particles, that is A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So for A particle has to be arranged in G1 cells. How many wedge? G1 wedge. B particle is going to be arranged in G1 cells, also G1 wedge. For the C also G1 wedge. For D it will be G1 wedge. For E also G1 wedge. So total number of wedge, as these arrangement are fully independent, so hence they are going to be multiply. So that means total number of wedge will be G1 to the power 5, right? G1 to the power 5. Likewise, if we have in the compartment C1 n1 number of particle, then n1 number of particle will be arranged in G1 cells of C1 compartment will be obviously G1 by n1 wedge. Okay. Next, similarly, n2 particles will be arranged in G2 cells of C2 compartment will be how much? G2 to the power n2 wedge. Likewise, we have to consider nk particles. Nk means I am considering kth compartment. That means so nk particles will be arranged in gk cells of ck compartment will be gk to the power nk wedge, right? Therefore, n number of particles will be arranged in C1 having G1 cells, C2 having G2 cells, ck having gk cells will be how much? G1 to the power n1 into G2 to the power n2 into up to into G3 to the power n3. Here I represented only 2. but n3, n4 up to nk we have to consider, no? So this will be g1 to the power n1 into g2 to the power n2 into g3 to the power n3 dot 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 gk to the power nk. That also it can be written as this is called this symbol is represents the products, the series of products. So this series of products can be written in the way of a summation of the product, like you can say. So I equal to 1 to k gi ni. That means this means gi 1 we have to put gi to the power ni into g1 to the power n1 into g2 to the power n2 into g3 to the power n3 up to gk to the power nk. So if multiplication is there, the symbol will be this one. Like if addition will be there, this will be summation. Okay. If multiplication will be there, this will be the symbol, that is your pi. Okay. Pi is represents the continuous product terms. Okay, can be represented in this format. So it will be I equal 1 to k gi to the power ni. You have to pause the video and carefully you have to write the notes. Okay, very important for your exam point of view. So now total number of microstates or thermodynamic probability of macrostate n1, n2, n3 up to nk, in which n particles are distributed in k compartments having g1 plus g2 plus g3 up to gk equal to, let it is capital G. Cells will be how much? It will be w n1 n2 n3 dot dot nk. This is the macrostate. Okay, for this macrostate w we have written means number of what will be the number of microstates of this macrostate will be equal to how much? Previously, without considering the division of cells, it was n1 by n by capital N by n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial up to nk factorial. Whenever we consider the division of the compartment with a large number of cells, then the extra term is going to be multiplied, that is this one. Okay, so hence total number of microstates or thermodynamic probability of a macrostate n1, n2, n3 up to nk, in which n particles are distributed in k compartments having g number of cells will be, this was previously we have n factorial by n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial up to nk factorial into this one, or this one you can say, that is your g1 to the power n1, g2 to the power n2 into gk to the power nk, because all the occurrence, all the events are independent, so that we have to multiply. From the beginning itself I have been told that whenever the events are independent, then we have to consider the product. Okay, so here as the independent there is no events is not going to be restrict one another, so we have to consider the product. So g1 to the power n1, g2 to the power n2 to gk to the power nk. In short, we can write n factorial. I told that this is representation of the products, continuous product. So gi to the power ni divided by ni factorial. Okay, this means g1 to the power n1 into g2 to the power n2 into g3 to the power n3 up to gk to the power nk divided by n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial up to nk factorial. Okay, so here clearly I have been written that w n1 n2 n3 up to nk, this is the macrostate. For this macrostate, thermodynamic probability wi written means this represents thermodynamic probability of this macrostate, or you can say number of microstates of this macrostate. How much? N factorial. This is product symbol I equal to 1 to k gi to the power ni whole divided by ni factorial. Okay. So here we found that when the compartments are further divided into large number of cells, here for C1 is divided into G1 cells, C2 again divided into G2 cells, C3 divided into G3, CK divided into GK, like that. For this case, for a particular macro state, the thermodynamic probability will be this one. Okay, this is required for find out or for the derivation of Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. Okay, because whatever we derived here, this is purely your classical statistics. That means it will be applicable on gas molecules, or this has been considered by Maxwell to analyze the gas molecules macrostates or gas molecules physical behavior. So now we have to uh, start the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution applied to an ideal gas in equilibrium state. Okay, so that expression we are going to use directly, because whatever we have been found, the number of microstates of a macro state after division of the each and every compartment, that is required for this derivation, because this is that whatever we have been derived here, this is statistical, classical statistical, and this is Maxwell Boltzmann also classical, based on the classical statistics. Okay, here n number of molecules are enclosed in a isolated vessel, whatever we have been discussed previously. Just for this one, for this example, similar type of uh, you can say similar type of situation, that Maxwell has been imagined. Okay, that means n number of molecules, particles are here. I have been written the language, the particles. Here it will be molecules. Okay, so let n number of molecules are enclosed in a isolated vessel of volume V. These molecules are in random motion with different velocities. Hence, they possess different momentum, different momentum. You can write also different momentum and energies. Their momentums and energies are continuously changing due to number of collisions. The total energy E remain constant due to isolated vessel. If it is isolated, obviously total energy will be constant. Therefore, gas remains in equilibrium state or most probable state. And we know that if we are going to be leave a isolated system, then it will be attain its maximum entropy situation, or you can say maximum disorder state, or the so-called equilibrium state. So as it is isolated, obviously it will be in the equilibrium state or most probable state. So here we have, you can say here, this is the, this figure also you have to draw here. I'll be say, okay, I'll be say to you that where this figure you have to do, you have to draw. Now you are going to ask the same figure again we have to draw. Yes, you draw. This is the question. This is the Maxwell Boltzmann distribution. Whenever it will ask it, you have to write from here. This is one example whatever we explained. Okay, so the question, whenever the question you asked in the exam, for that question you have to write from here. Okay, for that systematically I am suggesting that you have to draw the figure also. So here we have to find out the energy distribution of these molecules in the most probable macro state. Let E is the total energy divided into K intervals. So here we have to find out the energy distribution of these n molecules in the most probable macro state. Let total energy is divided into K intervals. Let epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3 up to epsilon k are mean energies of intervals or compartments. I am comparing the things with compartments, whatever we have been discussed. Okay, that means you just imagine that epsilon 1 is the mean energy of this compartment, epsilon 2 is the mean energy of this compartment. No need to, don't write here epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. This A B C D E not to be right, only I explained. So you have to write whatever I written in the note. So epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3 are epsilon k are the mean energies of the intervals or each compartments of intervals or compartments 1, 2, 3 up to k respectively. So here I drawn, this is mistakenly written, this has to be epsilon 1. Okay, this is epsilon 2 up to epsilon k, epsilon 2 epsilon k. Let n1, n2, n3 up to nk are the number of molecules of the intervals or compartments 1, 2, 3 up to k respectively. Here in this figure it has been represented, and these two figure you have to draw, side by side, figure 1a, then this side figure 1b. So figure 1a is this one and figure 1b is this one. Okay, you have to draw side by side here in this space. Okay, let these compartments or intervals are further divided into large number of elementary cells of the equal size. Let G1, G2, G3 up to Gk are the number of elementary cells of compartments or intervals. Okay, for this case Gi is greater than that of the Ni. That means suppose we have to consider the first compartment, it is divided into G1 cells and it contains 3 particles. So here G1, number of G1 is very large as compared with number of particles or molecules inside this compartment. So this is the figure 1, which is the situation of the gas molecules. These are the gas molecules inside a container. You just imagine inside a container, these are the gas molecules, and the whole container is divided into different compartments, that is your C1, C2 up to Ck. Each compartment further divided into cells, and each cell have the equal size and then we have to consider or to find out the so-called distributions, energy distributions. And another thing is that here n1, n2, n3 up to nk are the number of particles in compartment 1, 2, 3 up to compartment k, and epsilon 1, here I told epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, epsilon k are the average or mean energy of compartment 1, 2, 3 up to k. So this is the figure represents the dynamics of each and every molecule. I told several times, you can check or you can recall with the help of the previous video. I told that the gas molecule is equivalent to the phase point in the phase space. So this is the phase space QP, that means this is your phase space. So in the phase space, the point is nothing but the system, or it is called as the phase point. In the phase space, the system or phase point is equivalent to a gas molecule inside a container. Okay, so here you can see that these are the gas molecules, but these are the phase points, and all the phase space is further divided into elementary cells. Here in this statistics, in our classical statistics, our microstate, number of microstate is important parameter to derive other physical quantities, because thermodynamical probability is proportional to S is proportional to ln omega. So if we know thermodynamic probability, easily we can find out the S entropy, and from entropy many physical thermodynamical parameters also can be derived. So here in classical statistics, in classical statistics means in our you can say, so from the general view, that is your number of microstates of a particular macrostate is that much important as compared with number of phase points per unit volume in the phase space. That means that means here in case of phase space, the density of distribution of the point is important, but in case of here in our traditional method, or you can say in your natural way of the representation, the W is the important number of microstate, or thermodynamic probability is important. So here this is the gas container having the gas molecules is represented with the help of phase space. This one, these are the phase points. So when as gas molecule is dynamics inside the gas container, along with its position or its state is going to be changed always with respect to time, or we can say that both its position, Q is the generalized coordinate, position and momentum is going to be changed with respect to time. Hence any one of the point in the phase space or phase point giving a particular trajectory, which is called the phase trajectory, that we have been discussed. And this rho is represents the probability density, that means number of phase points per unit volume. Okay, on the base of that we can predict or imagine the behavior of the whole ensemble. Okay, so you just draw this figure side by side. This is your figure 1, this is your figure 2, and you have to draw figure 1 and figure 2 here. Okay, let these compartments or intervals are further divided into large number of cells. What I told, equal size G1, G2 or Gk are the number of elementary cells of compartments. For this case means for this classical statistics, number of cells is greater than that of the number of particles inside that particular compartment. Now, thermodynamic probability or most probable macrostate of N1, N2, N3 up to Nk is given by W N1, N2, N3 up to Nk will be equal to n factorial multiplication summation of N1 I equal to 1 to k Gi to the power Ni whole divided by Ni factorial. This is your equation number 1. This W, or the so-called thermodynamic probability, is called W max also, because as the system is in equilibrium, this value will be always maximum. Okay, so this W is called as W max because as the system is in equilibrium, then this value will be maximum. Okay, whenever system will be equilibrium, that means that system is in maximum entropy state. If maximum entropy state, as entropy is proportional to omega, so hence omega is also maximum. Okay, so now take natural logarithm of both the side of equation number 1. We have to take natural logarithmic of equation number 1 both the side. So it will be ln W n1 n2 n3 up to nk ln of this one. Okay, now see here W is the function of n1 n2 n3. It is not multiplication like that. So again and again I am not writing this one. Whenever I have to write W, that means it is represents a particular macro state. Okay, you have to accept that it is a particular macro state. Here macro state is this one. About this macro state again and again I am not writing. So only ln W is equal to ln n factorial plus, because these are in the form of multiplication. So ln plus ln, this will be your product summation I equal to 1 to k gi to the power ni minus, this is in the denominator, at the denominator, so it will be ln I to k ni factorial. Okay, so now that implies ln W will be equal to, this is your ln n factorial plus ln, you just segregate this one, it will be g1 to the power n1 into g2 to the power n2 up to gk to the power nk, right? So this will be can be written as ln n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial up to nk factorial, right? Now ln W will be equal to ln n factorial plus, this can be written as, these all are in the multiplication form can be written in the addition form, that will be n1 ln g1 n1 ln g1 plus n2 ln g2 up to nk ln gk, and this one can be written as ln n1 factorial plus ln n2 factorial plus dot ln nk factorial. Okay, so that implies ln W will be equal to ln n factorial plus, in general form it can be written as summation over I equal to 1 to k ni ln gi. Here n1 g1 n2 g2 nk gk, so it can be written as ni ln gi minus, here n1 factorial into factorial, in the summation form it can be written as ni I equal to 1 to k ln ni factorial. Let it is your equation number 2. Now we have to apply Stirling's approximation or rule. You just remember that whenever ln n factorial will be there, according to Stirling's approximation, it will be n ln n minus n. Here no proof is required for your syllabus, so it has a proof that how ln n factorial will be equal to n ln minus n. You just remember this is, and we have to apply this one here, here, here and here. Okay, here you can see capital N factorial is there, here small ni factorial is there. That means a large number of factorial logarithmic natural logarithm of a large number. N factorial means a large number. Okay, this n is represents the number of particles, and its factorial will be, the number will be much more. Okay, so whenever ln of n factorial will be equal to n ln n minus n, this is your Stirling's approximation. Now we have to apply this Stirling's approximation for equation number 2. Here ln W, here ln n factorial can be written as n ln n minus n. This will be written as such, I to k ni ln gi minus, this is ni factorial is there, so you can write ni ln ni minus ni. Summation is I to k. Okay, now it will be written as, so that implies ln will be equal to n ln minus n. Here you can see n ln minus 1, this one, and here this will be minus summation over this one plus summation over I equal to 1 to k ni. Okay, same thing I have been written over here, that n ln minus n plus I equal to 1 to k ni ln gi minus summation over I equal to 1 to k ni ln I ni plus summation over I equal to 1 to k ni. Okay, now you can see that summation over ni is nothing but your total number of molecule n. So instead of this one I can write n. So here n plus n minus n got cancelled. So what we found, ln w equal to n ln summation over this term I have been written as such, this term I have been written as such. Let it is your equation number 3. Now differentiating equation number 3, left and right, what we are going to get, d of ln w is equal to, here I written 0 because n ln both are constant. N is the total number of particle, here ln constant, that means if we have to consider the differentiation of this one, it will be 0, right? So now differentiate this one with differentiate this one, this will be d ni ln gi, okay, plus here I written 0, plus here I written 0, that means here we have to consider the product formula for the differentiation. This is the first term, d ni ln gi. The second term will be how much? Second term will be ni 1 by gi into d gi, right? Because this is ln gi, that means it will be 1 by gi into dgi. However, gi is a constant. Gi is the constant for a particular compartment. So dgi will be 0. So this term will be 0. Then differentiate this one. Here also you have to consider the product formula. So I equal to 1 to k d ni ln ni, then plus another term, here minus is there, so it will be minus I equal to 1 to k ni ln ni differentiation. If we are going to do differentiation, it will be 1 by ni d ni. Okay, so here ni got cancelled. So this term I have been written here, d ni ln gi, this term minus I equal to 1 to k d ni ln ni, and this term, that this term means ni got cancelled, this will be minus I equal to 1 to k d ni. Okay, here you can see that d ni can be written as d of summation over I equal to 1 to k. Ni is nothing but, this summation is nothing but n. So dn, this is the total number of particles, dn will be equal to 0. So this value also will be equal to 0. So next step we found d of ln w will be equal to this term and this term. This term is 0. Okay, let this one equal to this is your equation number 3a. The equation summation over I equal to 1 to k dni, let that is your equation number 3a, which will be required in our next page. You just wait. So d ln w will be equal to, here you can see dni can be taken outside, so it will be ln gi minus ln ni dni, let it is your equation number 4. Now as the system is in equilibrium, so w is nothing but w max, that is a constant maxima. So derivative of ln w will be equal to 0 because it is a constant maxima. So 0 equal to I equal to 1 to k ln gi minus ln ni dni. So that implies I equal to 1 to k ln gi minus ln ni dni equal to 0. Let it is your equation number 5. Total energy is nothing but I equal to 1 to k epsilon I ni equal to constant, right? Because previously we have been defined that this is the isolated system, total energy is constant. Total energy, that means number of particle, and each particle have epsilon I energy. So epsilon I ni equal to constant. So that means I can write if I am going to be write in general way, it will be epsilon I ni plus epsilon 2 epsilon 1 n1 2 n2 epsilon 3 n3 up to epsilon k nk is constant, right? Now we have to take the derivative both the side. It will be dE, as it is constant it will be 0, right? So if the energy of a particular compartment not going to be changed, it is a constant, only number of particles is going to be changed, right? So if I am going to take derivative, then it will be dE will be epsilon 1 dn1 epsilon 2 dn2 epsilon 3 dn3 epsilon k dnk equal to 0, right? So that implies this can be written in the summation format as I equal to 1 to k epsilon I dnk equal to 0. Let it is your equation number 6. Let it is your equation number 6. So we found summation over I equal to 1 to k epsilon I dnk equal to 0 is your equation number 6. Let it, that is your equation number 6. Now consider 3a, 5 and 6. Then use the method of Lagrangian undetermined multipliers. You just remember this name. Here no need to derive anything. We have to just apply this one, Lagrangian undetermined multipliers. For this purpose, multiply 3a and 6 by alpha and beta. 3a equation is your this one. So alpha dni, then beta epsilon I dnk. Okay, here alpha dni summation over alpha summation of I equal to 1 to k alpha dni equal to 0. Here summation over I equal to 1 to k beta epsilon I dnk equal to 0. So after multiplication we have to just subtract from the equation number 5. Okay, same thing I have been written over there. Also you have to write multipliers. For this purpose, multiply 3a 6 equation number 6, this one 6, okay, 6 by alpha and beta, where alpha and beta are undetermined quantities and independent and independent of ni. Then subtracting, see these things I have written in the bracket. So for this purpose, multiply 3a and 6 by alpha and beta, and then subtracting the resulting from equation number 5, and subtracting from equation number 5, just subtracting, here it is written subtracting from equation number 5 we get. So equation number 5 is this one. This value equal to 0. Again this value is 0. If I am going to multiply anything, a constant, also it will be so called 0. This value 0 means if I am going to multiply a constant, then also it will be 0. So I am going to subtract from this the two terms which will be equal to 0. So at last I am going to also get the 0. So equation number 5 is this one. I am going to subtract alpha dni and beta epsilon I dnk from equation number 5. What we found, this is what we got. Summation over I equal to 1 to k ln gi minus ln ni dni minus alpha summation over I equal to 1 to k dni minus beta summation over I equal to 1 to k epsilon I dni equal to 0. Okay, so here you can see that 4 terms, 1 2 3 4. So here dni can be taken outside. It will be ln gi minus ln ni minus alpha minus beta epsilon I dni equal to 0. That implies ln gi ln ni equal to alpha plus beta ei, or ln gi by ni equal to alpha plus beta epsilon I. Gi by Ni equal to, here ln means this side will be exponential, e to the power alpha plus beta epsilon I. Here Gi by Ni is this much. If I am going to be just reverse, then it will be also going to be reverse, and it will be e to the minus Ni by Gi. Here Gi by Ni e to the plus, Ni by Gi e to the power minus alpha plus beta Ei. See, this is Gi by Ni. How I am going to get Ni by Gi? If I am going to consider 1 by Gi by Ni, like that, right hand side also 1 by e to the power alpha plus beta epsilon I. So that means e to the power minus alpha plus beta epsilon I. Or this can be written as Ni equal to Gi into e to the minus alpha plus beta epsilon I. Or Ni can be written as Gi by, you just consider e to the power minus I, that means e to the minus alpha, or if it will be moved to denominator e to the alpha, this is e to the minus beta epsilon I, or e to the plus beta epsilon I. If we are going to consider, here we are going to write at the denominator. So Ni will be this much. So these are the three forms, the same thing but three different forms. Let it is your equation number 7, and these three equations are called as Maxwell-Boltzmann law of energy distribution. Here Ni by Gi is called the occupation index, that is number of molecules per phase space cell. This occupation index is going to be give the information that number of molecules per phase space cell. For this case, Ni by Gi is very less than that of the 1, because Gi is very large number that than the number of particle. Okay, this also can be written as Ni will be equal to Gi into e to the minus alpha into e to the minus beta epsilon I. So any form 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 forms is belongs to equation number 7. Okay, now we have to go for the evaluation of number of molecules in momentum range p and p plus dp. Okay, from equation number 7 we found Ni equal to Gi, this one or this one. From equation number 7 we found Gi into e to the minus alpha plus beta epsilon I, or Gi into e to the minus alpha plus into e to the minus beta epsilon I. This is your equation number 7. Okay, now consider continuous distribution of energy of the molecules rather than the discrete energy. So this derivation we have learned that considering the energy of the molecule are discrete, E1, E2 like this, sorry, epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3 like that. But instead of discrete energy, that is epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, epsilon k, we have to consider the continuous distribution of energy to find out this expression. Okay, so let n epsilon d epsilon be the number of molecules whose energies lie between epsilon and epsilon plus d epsilon. Then equation number 7 will be n epsilon d epsilon. Here n epsilon not multiplied, only it is written as the function n epsilon d epsilon will be equal to, here Gi is nothing but the cells of a corresponding compartment. So as the energy is continuous, so it will be G epsilon. Here also this epsilon is belongs to function. Okay, function of, that means G is the function of energy. into e to the minus alpha e to the minus beta epsilon d epsilon. Let it is your equation number 8. Okay, the equation number 8 can be written in the momentum form as np instead of epsilon. Np d epsilon can be written as dp gp into e to the alpha into e to the minus beta into, instead of epsilon, can be written as p square by 2m into dp. So npdp will be gp into e to the minus alpha into e to the minus beta. Here epsilon is the energy, kinetic energy will be p square by 2m dp. Let it is your equation number 9. Here epsilon is p square by 2m. The equation number 9 represents that the number of molecules whose momentum lie between p and p plus dp, that we are going to be evaluate. See, here gpdp represents what? Represents number of phase space cells in the momentum interval p to p plus dp. Here gp, only gp is the priori probability that a molecule has momentum p and p plus dp. gp is priori probability that a molecule has momentum p and p plus dp. So now here we know that in 3D volume of each infinitesimal cell is HQ. Language I have to change somewhere. We know that in 3D the volume of each infinitesimal cell is HQ. Already we have been discussed. I am going to show you. Wait. So you can check your note when we discussed phase space and Heisenberg uncertainty principle. There we found that has to define as a unit cell in phase space, and its volume will be, for a 3D case, it will be HQ, that we know. Okay, for in the momentum space, the volume in which the phase point is going to be found. That means Heisenberg uncertainty principle told that a system or a phase point is not exactly located in the phase space, but it will be, its uncertainty will be in a small volume, infinitesimal volume. That infinitesimal volume, if we are going to consider a single particle in 3D, it will be HQ. Okay, so here we consider that in 3D the volume of each infinitesimal cell is HQ. Now GPDP represents total number of cells. So GPDP will be total volume occupied by the particle or molecule in phase space divided by HQ. So GPDP will be here 6 dimensions: dx, dy, dz, dpx, dpy, dpz. For a single particle, these are the 6 dimensions. So we have to integrate these 6 dimensions, then we can found the total volume in the phase space. This is the total volume in the phase space. This type of these things we have been in detail we are discussed in our last classes. You can follow that videos. So here dx, dy, dz integration, we are going to get V, volume of the vessel. Now we have to consider what will the value of dpx, dpy, dpz integration, triple integration. For that we considered that px, py, pz are the momentum directions along x, y, z, which are mutual perpendicular with each other. let draw the px, py, pz, which are three perpendicular axes as shown in the figure. Now draw two spheres. One sphere having the radius p, another sphere, this is a dotted line, okay, having the radius p plus dp. So the volume in between, in between two spheres, contain the molecule, the volume inside this, in between two spheres, contain the molecule having momentum between p and p plus dp. Contain the momentums of the molecule. Here contain momentums of the molecule having momentum range in between p and p plus dp. Therefore, triple integration of dpx, dpy, dpz will be the volume of larger sphere will be 4 by 3 pi p plus dp whole cube minus 4 by 3 pi pq. Okay, radius is p, so pq. So here you can see that 4 by 3 pi can be taken outside. Here a plus b whole cube, that will be pq plus 3p square dp plus 3p dp square plus dpq minus pq. So here dp is small. If we are going to consider its higher orders, it will be again very small. Only for that we have to neglect the term containing dp square and dpq. That means this term is not to be considered. So here pq minus pq got cancelled. Only one term we have to consider, that is your 3p square dp. 3p square dp, 3 got cancelled, so it will be 4 pi p square dp. So the triple integration of dpx, dpy, dpz, we found this one. This is the volume of the spherical shell of radius p and thickness dp. So this expression is nothing but, if we are going to consider a volume of a spherical shell having the thickness is dp, then we can found this one. Then hence GPdP will be how much? GPdP will be, we have to put here already we found dx, dy, dz. Here we found this triple integration is 4 pi p square dp. So hence GPdP, that we have to put the value dx, dy, dz triple integration will be v, and here this triple integration value will be this one by hq. So it will be 4 pi square dp into v by hq. This expression is the number of phase cells in momentum range p and d, p plus dp. Okay, now the equation number 9 will be equation number 9 means this one. Here we have to substitute instead of GPdP whatever we found. So NPdP will be equal to 4 pi p square dp, 4 pi p square v, 4 pi p square v by hq. This dp is written here. Okay, so then another two terms is r e to the power minus alpha into e to the minus beta into p square by 2 dp. So this is the expression which represents the number of molecules in momentum range p and p plus dp. Okay, here we found that the number of phase cells, due to these two terms we found the number of particles or number of molecules which will be present in the volume in the momentum range p and p plus dp. Now this is a simple question that it will be required in our forthcoming lectures. You just follow it. That is, find the number of microstates in the range E and E plus D for a single particle or a single molecule, also you can say, single molecule, particle or molecule. So for a single particle, number of accessible microstates, this is the statement that you have to consider. For a single particle, number of accessible microstates is equal to the number of cells in the phase space. So here you can see that if we have a single particle in a phase space, suppose this is the phase space, one single particle is there. So what is the number of microstates? Microstates means what are the number of phase cells? These are the phase cells, no? What are the number of phase cells? That is the answer. That number of microstates of the particle, single particle. Okay. So this expression tells that number of phase cells in between momentum range P and P plus dP. But here it is asked that we have to find out in the energy range E and E plus D. Better you put it epsilon. Epsilon and epsilon plus D epsilon, because E is the representation of total energy. Okay. So it will better that you have to epsilon and epsilon plus D epsilon. So for a single particle, number of accessible microstates is nothing but it will be equal to number of cells in the phase space. Okay. Now we found that the number of phase space cells in the momentum range P and P plus dP is how much? That is your Gp dP, this one. Okay, 4 pi P square dP into V by HQ. And we know that the kinetic energy epsilon equal to P square by 2m. That implies 2m epsilon equal to P square to P dP. Differentiate both sides. 2p dP equal to 2m d, dP equal to m by P d epsilon. This is d epsilon. Okay. Now we have to substitute the value of P square dP here in the expression of epsilon in the expression of energy. So this will be, left hand side will be GED will be equal to 4 pi V by HQ. This is the constant. You just take to the initial into here P square is nothing but 2me dP is nothing but m by P d. Here P will be nothing but here P square equal to 2me. That implies P equal to root over of 2m epsilon. So here instead of P square we written 2m epsilon into dP, that means m by root over of 2m epsilon into d epsilon. Okay. Now this is 4 pi V by HQ. Here you can see this is 2me to the power 1, here 2me to the power 1 by 2. If it will be moved to numerator, then we can find 2me to the power 1 by 2 only into m d epsilon. Here this 2 if moved outside from the bracket, it will be 4 root 2 pi V by HQ. Here m to the power 1 by 2, here m to the power 1, m to the power 3 by 2 into epsilon to the power 1 by 2 dE. So this is the required expression. You can say this is your answer, that the number of microstates in the energy range E and E plus dE for a single particle. Okay. So here we have to stop our discussion. So here I am going to suggest one thing, that you have to pause the video, write down the note carefully. Suppose Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution asked in your exam. Describe or derive the Maxwell-Boltzmann energy distribution what you have to write? You have to write from here. From here you have to write. In short, you have to start from here and you have to end at equation number 7. That's it. Okay. So these are the extra things may not be required if question is asked that you have to derive only Maxwell Boltzmann distribution. Okay, I told that you have to draw these two figures here side by side. You have to do it and go through this video. If you are going to face any problem, you can ask me. We are going to discuss. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.